Either way, again, want to thank you for getting out in front of this issue, and hopefully you guys tonight will rule red light cameras out for good in the city of Washougal. If nothing else, I think this will give the city some very seriously positive attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cummins. Yes, Richard.
Richard Hamby, 37015 Southeast Gibson Road, Washougal. I think I find your rules for public comment a little cumbersome, I guess, in that we aren't allowed to address members of the council directly, but it comes back the other way. We get addressed sometimes in the newspaper, sometimes apparently under assumed names on venues online. I made a comment at the last meeting when Councilman Russell addressed me directly, and maybe appropriately because I did have a comment and he was acting as Mayor Pro Tem. But then he came back during council comments to address me directly by name again and try and inform me that I guess that we have different world views. So then it's 2 weeks later and I get 3 minutes. What he did say in response to my question is that apparently City of Washougal at this time is not looking at any interim plans for Highway 14 improvements. And I believe that he indicated that that could not happen until the West Slough Bridge was widened to 4 lanes. And that doesn't really match with my understanding, so I took the opportunity to communicate with Bart Gernhardt, the Regional Director of WashDOT, and had it confirmed that that absolutely is not the case, that interim improvements are easily able to be considered ahead of widening that 4-lane bridge. I think this is a really important issue. I was really, I guess, your minutes indicate I was disappointed by the vote on August 2nd to remove Washougal's plans for interim improvements from the queue of WashDOT's funding. And I guess I listened to the explanations from staff, from the mayor, from at least one of the council members of how this was not an issue of trying to support or not support roundabouts. It was keeping Washougal in line for funding, and that the exact details of a plan could be altered as time went by. So, and I just really find it hard to believe it wasn't that complicated for me. It was explained over and over that 4 members of the council seem not to be able to understand that. So it makes me want to ask, what communications took place on this issue between these 4 council members prior to the vote? And I don't know if there's a way to get an answer for that. Doesn't seem to be a public record type of request.
I don't know of a way to answer it either, Richard, at this point, unless, you know, there are council members that would be willing to take up the discussion, but I certainly don't want to do it during the public comment period either. That's one of the things, and with the way we've got them set up, one of the things I'm trying to avoid is the back and forth during the public comment period, and try and get information that we can get back to folks and take under consideration and properly within the council versus just here at the meeting. I can the one item that you mentioned in regards to plans for Highway 14. While there is no interim plan in place now, myself and staff are certainly meeting with a number of different players to try and come up with some sort of an alternative interim plan short of the full $120 million phase 2 of the whole Highway 14 area. So there are certainly some discussions that are underway at a staff level.
I'm glad that's going forward, because I know we lost some time maybe by stepping out of line, but you got to get back in line sometime.
We're trying to figure out a way to do it.
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Richard. Other members? Larry?
Larry Keister, 4402 Southeast Sitzelberger Road, Washougal. I have a comment in regards to Bill 150-10. I talked to the Public Works and Police Traffic Division of the city of Beaverton in 1995, when they first discussed putting in a photo van and photo trailer in community Beaverton. I was a resident there. I grew up in Beaverton. And then in 2001, they put in intersection monitoring. And I wasn't a resident there, personally, I was a resident of Washougal. The reason I bring this up is this particular bill, the way that it is written, it doesn't differentiate between the two different types of photo radar. The city of Beaverton, the traffic division that I talked to today, they are in agreement, like I am, that the monitoring, or what they call intersection monitoring, using red lights are not effective. They're very effective at that intersection because everybody's on their good behavior. They know they're being monitored. But you get a few intersections away, and everybody's back to their old ways. They do have to monitor, they do have to review every one of the photos that were taken by a police officer to verify the time and the accuracy of what. So it's expensive. I do agree that monitoring intersections is probably not the best way for us to spend our city money. But the photo vans and the photo trailer that monitor traffic speeds, those are very effective. We put them in school zones, let people know what speed they're traveling, or the flashing lights saying, or flashing the speed indicating you are going over the 20 or 25 or whatever. It brings their attention to that area, to that fact that you're not obeying the law. The city of Beaverton put the traffic, the photo monitoring in to obey a traffic ordinances only. That's their only purpose. Nothing else, not to generate funds, not to keep an eye on their citizens. My concern is if this ordinance were passed as it's written, it would put both of those tools in the same category. And I'd really like to see them separated so the photo vans or trailers would still be able to be used, and we could address the monitoring of intersections separately. It would have been nice, I had all this in my head at workshop so we could discuss it, but the way that it's set up, because it was past public comments, I wanted to raise my hand and say there's two issues we need to discuss here, but public comments not allowed during or after a discussion that was eliminated. So we bring it up here. I would like to see it discussed further, separated out as the two different types of monitoring, and then readdressed possibly at a later date, or we can discuss it at a workshop.
Thank you, Larry. Any other members of the public wishing to address the council?
Yes, I'm Don Bolin, 32934 Southeast 20th Street. And I'm here to support the resolution 15010. And it sounds like I'm against technology, and that is really not the case. In fact, I cut my teeth on 705s, 7080s, 704s, and 7094s, and I know none of you knows